So one of the things that comes up often, I think, when you start voiceover is you're so ambitious. You want to book that first job. You want to get into all these different areas of voiceover. You want to do it all.
Yeah.
But the problem is you lose perspective and you don't set achievable goals. So then we get in this situation where you're trying to achieve too much too soon.
Yeah.
And you end up disappointing yourself. I know I've been there. Sometimes I still am. And you don't. So I think one way to think about it is try to achieve something in one area of voiceover, be successful, like a mutual fund, and move on. You know, I mean, opportunities will come up for you and take them. But I think in your own focus, in your own direction, try to set achievable goals. I think that's a life lesson, but I mean, especially in the area of voiceover where you're by yourself and you can get it squirrely in your head and you can lose perspective on where you're going.
It's like over-ambitiousness impacts your overall productivity.
Absolutely.
Because you're just sort of like trying to hammer away and then your energy drops, your focus drops. You're not focused on one or two things. You're trying to do 7 and you're kind of halving it on the 7, which ultimately doesn't lead to completing anything. And you're just sort of like,
and then you don't succeed in anything.
And then you get down about it because you're like, and it's disheartening because you're like, I'm not succeeding.
Yeah.
And then, you know, your passion drops and your enthusiasm drops and you're just kind of like, now what?
And you have to have achievable goals because if you don't, then you don't become competitive. You know, that
kind of goes into my thing, which is basically the sustainability factor, which it sort of feeds into that because that's like this is the long game. I mean, you truly are playing the long game in voiceover. If you're like, I'm going to do 28 auditions a day, 5 days a week for 68 weeks in a row, and you're going to burn yourself out and you're not going to be having fun. And you're just like, you truly have to set achievable, sustainable workflows so that you're like, you know, you can be in that, you know, in that good zone and you're at peace with it. You know, wrestle whatever that sort of need is to complete or do 7 things at a time and go to 1 or 2 and just do that really well, you know, and because it is the long game. I mean, this is like, you know, we're all in this for many, many years. Yeah. You know, and I think it's people get into panic mode or a bit of sort of desperation mode because they're not like, I haven't, but you know, and it's just like, well, just play you know, we're all in this in the long game, just one foot in front of the other.
And they go, I'll try this and this isn't working. I'll try that. And you just tried too many things and you're just a trier, not a doer. Yeah.
It's like reactionary.
Yeah.
You know, rather than intentionally focused on a long-term goal that makes sense for you, your ability and your sustainability bandwidth. And like, so yeah, that's really powerful.